All right, welcome back, CSFC members. We are here back at the Lounge 2026, and we're here starting with inspiring stories. We're here with David.
Yes.
He does not know what losing is. Have you ever heard that one? Now, before all this, we are talking about how he was teaching how to compete.
In powerlifting, yes.
Yes. So tell me what you were telling me right now. We'll dive into more, but tell me what you were telling me right now that if they're not ready, you're not going to teach them, or how was that?
When I was coaching my team at a different gym across town, I had a team of females. I would train them to, I would always tell them my story that I don't know what it's like to lose. I'm very blessed. I've never came home empty-handed, but I would always tell them that,
So cool.
so I can't tell you what it's like to lose. I would imagine it sucks, but it doesn't have to suck if you know that you put everything you have
Yeah.
in your training here at the gym, and then you go into a competition and you give everything you have in that competition. You dig from within and take everything out of here and put it on one platform on one day, and it's just you in that bar. You either lift it or you don't. And if you go through your training and you go through your competition like this, no matter whether you get an award or not, or a piece of plastic at the end of the day or not, you're still a winner.
Yeah, especially because you try like
And
really hard, not just a little
And
bit.
only we know if we're giving it our all in training. You know what I mean?
But we also need like you to push them harder
Mm-hmm.
because we think we give it all, but we don't sometimes. I thought I did in a few things, and I'm like, oh, I can still do more. I can still do more, like the negative reps.
Yeah.
Do you ever do negative reps?
Of course.
Yeah. So with that, I'm like, no, you still got power. How the heck do we still have power like that?
But my girls used to, and the other people I've trained over the years, a lot of people get confused. Like, I need a trainer for motivation when
Yeah.
people approach me to train them. And it's like, well, that's really not something you could teach. That's got to come from within.
Yeah.
I could teach you form. I could teach you how to do this all day long. I could teach you many different things. But that a lot of people in the gyms are like, they don't go to the gym unless their friends go with.
Yeah.
Or if my friend doesn't go, I don't go. I mean, I was the same way when I was in high school. But you
No,
know
me
what?
too.
If you're waiting on somebody else, you're never going to get any goals accomplished.
And the worst part about it is they might be doing supplements that we don't know that we're doing. I'm like, why is he sweating a lot? Why is he doing that? Oh, you're popping a pill of God knows what. And next thing you know, they look extremely fit.
Yeah. And even with stuff like that, you still have to train hard.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the results. And I hate to say cliches, but some cliches are so dead on. And it's like, it's like life. You get what you put in.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm not a cliche guy, but it's true. You get what you put in.
Yeah.
You work hard, you're going to get results, no matter what you're doing in life.
What's one of the competitions that was most like you were right there, like, oh, I'm gonna lose. I might lose. Was one of those competitions that you were?
Well, I did lose. I went into the Midwest Championships once, and it was the biggest competition of my life.
No way.
I had squatted 860. I had 860 and some change. They go by kilograms, so it was like 860 and some change. I had pulled 752 and some change, somewhere around there. And then it was like a 412 bench, which wasn't very high for my weight class.
Okay.
But I thought those were good enough numbers.
412 bench?
Yeah.
And that's still not good enough for the weight class?
Well, in my weight class, they bench in the fives, but some of the guys that bench in the fives don't squat that kind of weight.
These are heavy hitters, guys. These aren't just like.
Well, this was after 13 years of doing this.
Yeah.
So I put some work in. But and I say that humbly because I was very blessed to be trained by some very incredible powerlifters, world champion powerlifters.
No way.
My coach was a world champion, and so he introduced me to a lot of other world champions. Like you guys, when you have meets here, is from the APF. I knew the founder of the APF,
No,
Ernie
you
Franz.
did not.
I trained at
Really?
I trained at Ernie Franz's gym with him many times, and
Oh my
he
God.
trains is national champions and world champions.
Uh-huh.
And I was just a state level lifter, but I got to go because of my coach. So I get to learn from all these people that were really accomplished people. And so I'm very humbled about that because I've never been the strongest guy in the gym training with them people. I was always the weakest. So if you want to talk, you go into an ego, you will leave humble. I promise
Oh,
you.
shoot.
And so I
is
learned through them
crazy.
to always keep my arms down. Like a lot of people will walk like this. Your lats are so big
Yeah.
you can't put your arms aside. That's garbage. I was a big boy and I could always put my arms to my
Hands down.
side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But people can be however they want to be.
I know.
But so I learned so many things along that journey. Yeah.
Did you ever go to the one we had here on Jefferson, World Gym or something like
I
that?
trained for one of my competitions there.
Really?
Yeah, because my coach was there.
See, I
and I
never-
had a house in Bolingbrook.
I
so
wish
came
back
down
then
there.
I was into lifting, so I could have gone in there. 'Cause I just remember seeing the big old letters World Gym.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, we got one, but whatever. I didn't care for it. But now I regret it. I wish I would have gone in there.
Yeah. But I could tell you with no blowing smoke, I'm not one like that. But this gym here is probably the best gym I've been in my whole life. And I've been in gyms all across the United States.
I'm excited to hear from that, like, because you've been around to many different gyms, powerlifting gyms.
I joined my first gym at 17. I'm now 58. So I've been in gyms for 42 years now.
Really? So how does this one differ from others? What do you like
The
about
atmosphere,
this
they offer so much here. Like, and I'm not here to promote the gym, but I will certainly say some great things about it. Like, I tell my friends, like, they're always like, why do you pay a little bit more than the other gyms in the area?
one? Yeah.
I'm like, they offer so much more. The atmosphere is a competitive atmosphere.
Yeah.
You got basketball players, you've got football players, you've got boxers, you've got kickboxers, you've got the outdoor gym, which I've always heard about was only in California. And I love that
I
outdoor
know.
gym. I love it in the morning when the birds are chirping. It's just you, God, and the weights.
It's
Or
different.
in the evening when the sun's going down. It's so serene. You know, it's
Yeah.
and so it's the atmosphere. And I knew that if I was going to do another show, a show, because I've switched over to bodybuilding now, since I have too many injuries. That's why I retired from powerlifting after a 13-year career. I wanted to do something. I'm gonna have a competitive attitude. I'll compete with ping pong if I have to. Like, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I wanna compete. And so I'm training for a show when I hurt my shoulder, and I've just had surgery. But so last summer I was getting ready for a show, my first physique show.
Oh,
And
okay.
but I
How'd that
love
go
the
then?
app. Well, I never went into it. I hurt my
Okay, 'cause
shoulder.
that's when it hurt it. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I hurt my shoulder, and so it was a new journey I'm on. I really didn't know what I was doing,
Uh-huh.
and I thought I was looking pretty good. I compared myself to last year's winner online. I do a lot of research. I always did when I was powerlifting. I'm the same way now. I'm a note taker. I research, and
Have to,
even
yeah.
when I go into a vitamin store, I'll put my glasses and I bring a notebook and I'm writing down the
Just make
fat
sure.
content and all the hidden stuff
So
that's in the,
nitty gritty everything.
because it's a lot of they sell a lot of garbage out there. You have to really, for your dollar, money's tight with everyone now.
Yeah.
You want to get your bang for your dollar.
Yeah.
But as far as the gym, the atmosphere is where it's at. Like, if there's not a competitive attitude, atmosphere in here,
Mhm.
like, I don't need to be there.
Right.
You know? Like,
'Cause we got it all. We got from the bodybuilders to our physique builders to athletes. We got baseball players, runners that do I don't know what. You could see the difference when they stretch. What they do. Everyone does something different. Even a lot of wrestlers or I don't know what they do. And then boxers. I don't mess with the boxers though. I leave those guys alone. Those I used to see when they because they used to train kiddos here. Senior Joseph used to do that, and they would punch the bag like holy cow. That's why I'm like Ever since then, I'm not messing with any
There's
of
some
those.
guys the same way. I go through there to go to the outside gym and I go fast.
Yeah.
But the main thing is the powerlifting. Even though I don't powerlift anymore, that is where my heart is at. If I could, my dream job would be to go back coaching and teaching powerlifting.
Yeah, proper way.
Yeah,
Proper way,
the
because
proper
I've
way.
noticed there's a lot of the coaches that I've seen, even online, they'll say A, B, C, D, but it's not for everybody. You got to tailor everything towards whatever your mechanism is. Like your
Yeah.
injury on your shoulder, you got to work around it.
Yeah, but there's just some methods that I learned through training with those elite lifters that
That's
I
the
think
best.
they'll never change. It is
Mhm.
you must know these things to be successful.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of guys that are my age here at this gym
Mhm.
that knew Ernie Franz and knew my coach as well.
Uh-huh.
And they were trained the same way, the same thing. I see them downstairs all the time. And so my dream job would be to train for that. Even if I did it for free, like I don't care.
Yeah.
My passion, my heart is with coaching. Like when I had my team at the other gym, I didn't charge them people. I
Really?
did that. I gave up my Sunday every Sunday for 2.5 years for
Get
free.
out of here.
I didn't charge them a penny. My daughter thought I was crazy.
Yeah, me too.
She's like, "You
'Cause
got all this knowledge. You should be making all this money." I'm like, "It ain't about the money for me."
there was a gentleman that taught. I forgot if he was a power lifter, but he used to do seminars for deadlifting, I think. And I think it was just deadlifting. I forgot. But you know how much he charged for a seminar? 30. 30 grand.
30 grand.
30 grand per seminar, per person. He's like, he was gatekeeping everything. He's like, I'm not going to tell him. I'm like, this stuff is worth it. And now there's another guy, you probably seen him around if you go on the social media, Knees Over Toes. That was his mentor. The guy passed away, but the
Yeah.
Knees Over Toe guys, he can rehab you from your knees, your back, your shoulders, all that. And the guy taught him everything he knows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to talk after this, guys.
Yeah. I did a seminar once for squatting because that was my bread and butter. That's what I was best at.
Really?
I have these short, stubby legs, and they used to grow like tree trunks, and I just was good at squatting.
No
That
way.
was where, that's where I would win shows.
Can you run us through that? Because I don't do much squatting right now because I'm doing a program where it's all basically dumbbells. That's all I'm doing. My program right now is, I'm heading towards 40, so I'm training like I'm there already almost. So it's all dumbbells, moving everything, body weight stuff. That's all pretty much I'm doing, which I did get pretty strong.
Yeah.
And my forearms are blasting, even though they don't look as big as probably yours, but they're blasting. But teach us a little bit about squatting.
Well, first of all, let me say about this age thing you're talking about. It doesn't matter. The muscles do not know how old you are.
That's true.
Unfortunately, ligaments and tendons do. So
Hey,
you have
those
to be
guys
careful.
too. Yeah.
The muscle does not know how old you are. So there are people that are older than me that are still competing in powerlifting.
Oh yeah, I've seen
I had
that.
a serious injury, so I had to get out.
But
I know people that are still doing it.
Really?
And being successful at it.
Yeah.
You know, but I forgot what your question was.
How to squat? Like I know, I practice to brace first. How to unrack the bar. I practice that a lot. And I just, what are you doing? Unracking the bar. That's all I'm doing. Walking out. That's all I'm doing. And then racking it back up because that's where a lot of injuries happen too.
Yeah.
Because I injured my shoulder on racking it once. I injured and I'm like, what the heck? And they're like, you're doing it way wrong.
Well, when it comes to squatting, I'm telling you, I am such a perfectionist. I mean, when I was teaching the girls at the other gym, we had a new lady come and train with us for one day, and I was telling her how to walk in and out with the bar.
Yeah.
Basics.
How freaking important
she was
is that?
like,
'Cause
wow,
that's important.
I said, we're looking for perfection here. And she says, she looked at me in front of the other girls who knew me and said, because I'm very professional when I coach. I'm all serious. There's no cell phones allowed. There's no boyfriends,
No
girlfriends.
music, no nothing.
This is training or go find somebody else to train. And I say that humbly once again.
Yeah.
There's other people out there you can train with. Go be with them, but I'm not about that. And so, but she looked at me once and she said, you know what, you're not asking, when I said about perfection. And she said, wow, you're not asking for too much, are you? And I didn't say nothing. I could see in the mirror the girls like, she didn't just say that because it is about perfection. And if you don't want to strive for perfection, then I'm not the trainer for you.
Yeah.
Because everything matters when you squat, including deadlift and bench.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
The way you put the weights on the bar. I'm anal about that. Maybe it's OCD. I don't know.
Oh, I know
Plates
exactly
have to face in.
Yep.
You
I
can't
know
have one
exactly
facing
what
out
you're
and one
talking
facing in.
about.
That
Yes.
will irritate me. It will bother me while I'm doing the lift. So everything has to be uniform.
Yep.
Everything has to be perfect. A lot of people don't understand where you put your hands for a squat matters. Where you wear the bar on your back of your neck matters. Where you place your feet matters. Which angle you point your toes matters. Everything matters.
Oh yeah.
And every single time you squat, from a warm-up set to your last set, has to be the same. It's identical. It's perfection.
Yeah.
Or get out.
No, I get it.
Or don't do it.
That's true.
Because if you don't do it to perfection, you're going to eventually hurt yourself.
Really bad. Really bad.
And I'm telling you, I lost my dream. I ate, slept, and breathed powerlifting. It was my world until I got hurt. And I fell into a major state of depression after it was taken from me.
Oh, I know.
Like, I just can't even explain some of the things I went through.
No, because this is like air. And you're probably like me, and we're like each other. Like, we need to train in order to breathe. It's the same thing. It's just like money. That's not important, but we needed to breathe either way. We need to exist. So, because if I don't work out, I'm off. Even if I come stretch, do something, like I'm off too. Now, I want to go back to the squatting because, we're here, we got it. Bracing. How the heck do you brace great? Because I think I do, but I do not.
You mean with a belt, or are you talking about holding yourself
belt,
together?
Just putting yourself together. Shoulders back, like, nicely, and then you brace in, you suck it in, and then.
Well, of course, it's all core.
Yeah.
Everything works in your body.
Yeah.
That's why squatting and deadlifting are the two best exercises in the world. In any gym, anywhere you go, I'll argue with anybody about that. Because you're working every muscle in your body when you're doing that. There's nothing you're not working. So everything has to be tight. tight, tight. When I coach people, it's always like tight, tight, tight. When you walk it out, stay tight. Get set up. Don't just walk it out, boom, do the squat and walk it in. Ooh, that irritates me because you ain't ready to squat.
Yeah.
You got to get out, set up. Make sure you're perfectly perfect. Everything is about perfection, remember? And then take a deep breath and then go down with your squat. Come up. Don't walk it in right away. You can hurt yourself.
Up.
Get a grip of yourself once you come back up, and then come back in. And I walk with you, or your spotter walks with you to make sure you don't get hurt.
That's another thing I was working on, walking it in. Because a lot of people, they'll look this way, that way, and then I'm like, no.
It has to be routine. It has to be, and even with the walking out, a lot of people will take 2.5 steps.
Yeah.
It is one step back, squat the weight, one step forward, you're done. If you're
do a
walking
whole lap. I see people do a whole lap. I'm like,
you're wasting so much energy and you're risking injury. Everything is about preventing injury. That's why I preach perfection. It's not about perfection because that's how Dave coaches. No, it's to save your butt. It's to keep you safe. So you go home to your loved ones the same way you were when you came here.
Yeah.
Everyone is to leave the gym safe.
Did you do any box squatting?
I did do box squats.
Okay.
I did all kinds of squats.
How's that different? Like, what are the benefits of those? Because I used to do a lot, and I don't think I saw a big difference.
What
I
I
was
saw
probably
with-
going hard.
What I saw with the box squats are you have to slow down where your butt hits the box. So it's a lot of that just retention, the tension on your quads. Like you don't even need a box. Like you could just go down
Like
in
a
a
little
squatting
bit.
position and just pause
And
go up.
like barely tap or hardly anything in it. Just
Because it's just pausing. You're constantly keeping the weight applied to the muscle. What builds muscle? Heavy weight applied to the muscle on a consistent basis.
okay.
So that's why with a lot of things I do even now, like I do a lot of pausing. My girlfriend, I'm trying to teach my girlfriend this. Like don't always just go down and up. I'm a big believer in Dorian Yates.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you that. Who was the bodybuilder? Dorian Yates.
Dorian Yates, Lee Priest, and Tom
Lee Priest
Platz.
is good too.
Tom Platz.
Tom Platz.
But sometimes, because I'm a leg guy. I have to mention Tom Platz. But when he says when you do the lat pull downs, Dorian says, and a lot of people they pull it down and they want to come straight up.
Yeah.
Pull it down. He says you're losing the whole. You're not even doing a rep. He says you pull it down and you hold it, and that's what I do now. I hold everything, then I slowly go up. You get more out of the negative than you do out of the positive. But a lot of people think that it's the positive that gets your back big. It's not. It's you're getting something, of course. You're pulling the weight, but then you hold it and restrict the muscle. It's weight applied to the muscle on a consistent basis. Heavy weight applied. So you're holding that weight on the muscle and then slowly coming up.
Go back up.
That is how you build the back. That is how you build all your muscles.
Really? Yeah. And you know what? My coach has been telling me pretty much something like that. Like hold it, brace it, do all that, and then slow it down. Don't just. And I went down to 15-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
To curl. 10 pounds.
Me too. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I know, but I thought I'm like, yeah, I can lift the 30s, I can lift the 40s, I'm good, but no. Once we slow controlled everything, it's a game changer.
Yeah. When I was a power lifter, I was a much bigger guy. And I remember doing curls with 60 pounders. Okay.
What?
But that was in my heyday. But
yeah.
I say that to say this. But when I was training for that physique show this last summer, I was taking the 15 pounders, but I take them real slow. Up, hold it, real slow down.
Did you ever do the
my
blood
body
flow
looks
restriction?
better this last summer than it has in my entire powerlifting career. I never saw my body transform like that. And it was all because I changed my whole theory of, it's a whole different animal bodybuilding, as bodybuilders would tell me. It's a whole different animal. So I had to learn how to train completely different. And I do a lot of lightweight. And it doesn't have nothing to do with my age. Muscle does not know how old you are. I keep repeating
that. I'm going to have to get
I can still do the 30s and 40s, but why? If I'm getting great results from the 15s, and I could do more volume with them.
That's true. Did you ever do the blood flow restriction?
Meaning?
Like they put the strap around your arm or your legs and they just restrict the blood and all that stuff. Yeah.
There's so many different theories out there. And it may work for people. I mean, what works for one doesn't always work for the other.
I think
some people may not agree with my theories, but I know that these are not my theories.
Yeah.
All the things that I teach were taught to me from national champions and world champion powerlifters. I go by their theory. They are the ones who made the magazines, the front covers, did articles for Muscle and Fitness. Not me. And I
Really?
teach what they taught me. I don't change nothing. There is no, let me add some David into it. No, I teach what they taught me.
Yeah.
And I was successful on my level. Like you asked me how one of my biggest wins, it was actually my loss. Remember I told you I did the 860, the 752 deadlift, I believe, and I took second place.
No way.
And I remember I was like, wow. And I say that to say this, that's the humility in me. Like, that's how strong some of these guys are. And he didn't
really
beat me
strong.
little. He smoked me.
No way.
Yeah,
Now were these guys enhanced, or they were just they
Well,
had to be, right, or no?
In the APF, you can be on the
You could be
stuff,
on
so you
stuff,
don't know
okay.
who's on it, who's not, but you
Yeah.
can be on the APF.
Okay.
Back then, everyone was on it.
Okay.
Now they have all these drug-free powerlifting. They have all these different organizations with different rules.
Yeah.
So, to each his own.
Yeah.
But I mean, Mr. Olympia is not drug-free. They claim it is, but it's not.
Heck no. There's
I mean, I listened
way.
you watch, go on YouTube, talk to all the pros. They admittedly talk. I was taking this, I was taking this, I was
Yeah.
taking this.
They're a
Well,
little
how'd
more
you pass
open
the
about
drug
it.
test? That was all phony. That was all for the public. That was all to keep the police off our backs.
True. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go to an Olympia?
No, but it's been my dream.
Yeah, you got to go to an Olympia.
But I've hung out with Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler, many times.
No, you didn't. What? How? Where?
One of my old training partners
Uh-huh.
was friends with him, and he used to get his gear from him.
Uh-huh.
And so he was the guest poser at the Illinois State Bodybuilding Championships one year, and I was there with my buddy. That's when I was in my prime, and I knew Jay would be there. And he had just won the Arnold Classic,
Okay.
and this was like the week after, so he was in prime shape. And I went there with shorts on. It was middle of winter, and I wore shorts on purpose because my legs were big. And I
Ginormous.
wanted to take a quad shot with him, and I did. I'm like, Jay, man, I want to take a picture with you. Dude, let me tell you something. As big as my legs were, his legs were like 3 times the size of my leg.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked like a little kid next to him. That's how big the man was.
No way.
And then we went out for beers that evening.
Get out of here. There's no way.
I got to hang out with him for a little
That
while.
is
and
so
he
cool.
was a lot of fun to be around. Real
Yeah.
down to earth guy.
No way.
But just big as
I've been
300 pounds ripped.
I've been trying to go to see if I stumbled into him in Vegas because he goes to like all these other like in LA over there. Now I know what other gym he goes to.
Mhm.
So when I go next month for the seminar, guess where I'm at 6 a.m. I'm gonna go in there and see if I can see him.
Yeah,
Because I did go to a powerhouse down in Vegas, and I met the Olympians. One of the Olympians there, I forgot his name, but
Yeah.
and all the machines super silky smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's all tailored for them.
Mm-hmm.
What is one of your
gyms,
favorite
probably.
machines?
I mean,
Oh yeah, they know.
and they want other pros to come there and train. It's notoriety gets them more business, I would imagine.
Oh, I was in Disneyland. Like, what are you training? Everything, everything. Because I was trying out every machine just to see how smooth they are, and they were freaking silky smooth.
Yeah.
Now the guy was down to earth, like you said, like Jay Cutler is. Do you know who Rich Piana is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I met him in New Lenox when he came a long time ago for some protein shop that opened up over there, and my head was the size of his bicep.
Mhm.
Ginormous dude. I'm a big fan of him just because he just talks a lot and blah blah blah. But then he's still like he's real. He'll tell you like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like guys, blah blah blah. But just train and eat real food.
Mhm.
Are you a fan of him or are you not?
Well, I've been researching him a lot lately, or not researching him, but I've been seeing him pop up on my Facebook a lot because I research
Really?
these all the time.
Oh, okay.
Not Facebook, YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Because I watch a lot of videos of old time guys, and what strikes out to me is how sad it was when he passed.
Yeah.
And the pros were telling stories of why he passed.
Yeah.
Like he was doing something he shouldn't have been done.
Yeah, he
He
was
had
on.
nothing to prove to nobody. He was on so much gear that even the pros were like, I would never do that in my lifetime.
And I think he was at the frontier of this YouTube thing because he did this series. He's the one who actually got me to stop watching TV, and I was watching him almost daily because he's like every day or daily something. He would post something every day about his food, like eat every day. Like, yeah, this is my first meal, this is my second meal. Like, yeah, we're fucking eating. We gotta eat. That's what he kept saying. Like, it's not just train, but you gotta eat. And yes, he was on gear and everything else, but I remember he would just go off, and there was a lot of stuff that made sense and a lot of stuff, of course, questionable.
Yeah. Well, I don't question people on gear. I did it. It to each his own.
Yeah.
But it was just that what I had heard that he had nothing to prove. He wasn't even competing,
It was not.
and yet he was on so much stuff because for whatever reason, and then he had a heart attack and passed. So it was sad. But the food, I remember, you have to. A lot of people don't understand this. What we do in the gym is 10%.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's 90% and 10% of what you eat and how you diet. No, it's not. It's the reverse. Yeah. It's 10% of what we do is in the gym. 90% of what we do is what we do at home.
How is that?
Oh, so important.
Yes, it is.
And I have sleep issues. But sleep is so important. Rest is everything. A lot of people like Dorian will say he worked out once every 3 days.
Yeah, he does.
It's unheard of now. A lot of people
and
are
45 minutes,
days a week,
right?
5, 6. I don't do that, but 45 minutes to an hour tops for a workout.
Did he say he had supersets too? Like he would love supersets or something
well,
like that?
Everything he did, I know for sure. I don't know about the supersets, but it's to failure. It's like I'll do one exercise. I don't do 5 exercises for my back. I do 1 or 2, and I do it till I'm in tears. And then Tom Platz would talk about doing his squats until he's laying on the floor puking and he can't move anymore, and then he'll get up and do another.
Do it again.
Set. I love that mentality. I love
crazy.
that. I love training to failure, and I try to teach that, but it's so hard because people think when they get tired or when their arm gets sore that they feel, oh, that's failure. No, it's not. You're dehydrated. Drink some water.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, in a lot of cases.
Okay.
No, it's not. If you're not crying, if you ain't fighting for that last freaking rep, you ain't trained to failure. Everyone's like, I do 3 sets of 10. I did my sets. Why 10? Who put up the number 10? Who created the number 10? Everyone's like, I need 2 sets of 10. I need 3 sets of 10. And it's like, well, who came up with the number 10?
It's so general now.
Some of the pros are doing 30 or 40 reps.
Yeah.
Tom Platz would say he wouldn't stop squatting until he did 500 reps. Now, that's not in one set.
Oh, yeah, but still.
But he would say something, and now I wonder if that's even true, because that's a big number. But I just read that the other day on one of the YouTubes.
You never know, because these guys, I don't know if
And then they would show videos of them, though. He would, do all the, I've seen him do 50 reps once on 315, 50 on a video. And then he's to the point where he's just squeezing out that last one, and he racks the bar and he collapsed to the ground. Just laying there like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then they videotape him getting back up and getting underneath the bar again.
What? How's that even possible?
That is what separates the men from the boys in the gym. Even the girls. I'm so proud of the women today that are stepping up in powerlifting. If there's nothing I am trying to accomplish today with this podcast, is the support of the powerlifting. Even though I can't powerlift anymore, that's where my heart is at. I can tell you this. This is what my point is. Powerlifting taught me so much more than just how to lift weights.
Right.
It taught me how to be a man. It taught me how to be humble. Remember I told you who I trained with?
Yeah.
It taught me how to be humble, how to be kind to people. I met a lot of people throughout my weightlifting career that were just ignorant. Like they acted like they were too good to talk to you. Like I talked about Jay Cutler being down to earth. Yeah. I've seen some pro bodybuilders that wouldn't even talk to me.
Really?
Sergio Olivier. I went up to get his autograph once, and I'm not an autograph guy, but I knew he was a legend. And he shunned me off like I was nothing. And I was just like, wow. And that's when I was a real big guy, too, in the prime of my powerlifting. I went to a bodybuilding show. His son was competing. And I went up to Mr. He had a whole entourage of people. And he treated me like I was an ant.
No
and
way.
I'm like, you know what? I have no respect for people like that.
Yeah.
And I purposely want to be as friendly as I can to as many people to show people that not everyone's like that. Some people care. Some people give a damn.
They do. They really do.
Some people want your success. Even though I don't know your name, I wish you success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I see that around this gym. That is the most important thing I left out when I was telling you about why I love this gym. I love all these young powerlifters. There's so many young boys and girls here that I see that are squatting and deadlifting and benching all the time. And I love it. Because if there's one thing my coach, Craig Tokarski, his name was Craig Tokarski, who trained me, he recently just passed. But if there's one thing he taught me is to always promote the sport.
Yeah.
You know, always promote the sport. Everyone talks about bodybuilding, but nobody talks about powerlifting. And now it's evolving. I wish Craig was alive to see what's happening because it's getting bigger and bigger. And it's getting more notoriety.
Yeah.
You know, and so I want to keep encouraging these young people.
How?
You know, it didn't only teach me how to be a man. It taught me how to be a father. It taught me so many things in life that are valuable to me to this day. That I try to teach my kids, that I try to teach people just in the way I act, the way I carry myself. I try not to be arrogant. I'm sure I look mean sometimes when I'm lifting, but that's the way I train.
In.
I train. I when I put my music on, when I'm training, I get into a zone. I try to get myself into a zone to where I ain't nothing. I'm not paying attention to nothing but that next rep and making it perfect and making it effective. Because if it ain't effective, then why do I want to do it? Why am I here? If I'm not having fun here, then why am I here? I love what we do here. I've loved it when I'm, you see me in the gym every day now.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with my girlfriend and helping my girlfriend out. Why? Because I can't lift. Why am I here? Because I love the smell. I love to be around it. I love to watch people train.
Everything, yeah.
You know? I forgot about my shoulder injury. I even went up to Alex like, hey, man, can I get a job just like putting weights away or something? Like while I'm off of work for 3 months? He's like, do you listen to what you're saying? You just had shoulder surgery. Major shoulder surgery. And you're talking about picking weights up. And I'm like, oh, that didn't dawn on me. It's just I'm like, you ain't even going to pay me. I'll just volunteer. He's like, but you can't do it. And I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you can't lift anything right now.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to go backtrack a little for the nutrition part. Because that nutrition part with now, you know we go out there. What do we see? Nothing but processed food. Super processed foods now that has no nutritional value to us.
Yeah.
I call it entertainment food now. Just like when we watch TV, it's entertainment. That's all it is. There's nothing nutritional about it. Now, how complicated was the food for you?
Well, for me, it wasn't so complicated because, well, it wasn't the beginning, but I had been around for so long, I had learned what works for me.
Yeah, what works? And that's what I want to know. What works for you? Because maybe some of us will, get notes from this and try it ourselves.
I power lifted. I would eat, when I was competing in powerlifting, I would eat 6, 7, 8 times a day.
Okay.
But everyone thinks it's a meal. It's not a meal. It actually, what I was eating would turn people's stomach. Like I would make this big concoction on Sunday and I would eat it all week long at work. I was in construction at the time. And it would be ground chicken, ground turkey, egg whites, like a dozen or 2 egg whites in each batch. And I'd flavor it with some scallion onions or something, and tuna fish. I would mix all that together and I would eat this, bowls of it. And every break at work and all throughout my day, I would eat it like 8 times a day, the same stuff. While I was getting ready for a competition.
And any salt or any any hot sauce or anything like that?
Every once in a while, some hot sauce back in the day, but it's just food that nobody wants to eat.
Yeah.
And now that I got it, I'm transitioning into the bodybuilding. Like my girlfriend's teaching me more than I've ever known because I've never bodybuilded before. I've never been in trying to lose weight and look lean. It's a whole different animal. And she is so disciplined, the most disciplined person I know. I know competitive bodybuilders who do not eat like my girlfriend because everything is boiled. Everything is boiled chicken. Everything is boiled broccoli. And potatoes, and it's no salt, no sodium, no nothing. And I'm learning. If I could encourage her to do anything, I'm trying to get her to eat more.
Yeah.
Because she wants to build more muscle. And
that's
I keep
the toughest
saying,
part.
You have to feed the muscle. You can't just lift weights. You have to constantly feed your muscle. But she's very busy with her day, so that's hard for her. But I always.
How would you tell someone to feed their muscle? Like, because
constantly eat.
Like just.
But eat nutrition.
Okay.
Fast food cannot be an option for you.
No.
I don't care if you're in a hurry. Plan for you being
or
in a
young.
Hurry. Every day when you leave your house, you should just plan on I'm going to be in a hurry today. I'm not going to have time to stop and eat. And you're going to be starving. If you're starving, you don't have nothing with you. You're going to go to fast food. Oh, a cheeseburger ain't going to hurt me. Or this ain't going to hurt me. And if you get into a routine of using that as your fallback plan, it's really not helping you, your goals in the gym.
Right.
So always plan like your day is going to be super busy and you ain't going to have time to stop. Bring an extra yogurt, an extra banana, an extra whatever it is that you're eating. An extra chicken breast in your car.
You just have it there ready to
something.
Go. Have you ever had sardines?
I wish I could eat them, but I can't. I think they're disgusting. But they're loaded with protein.
That's where I'm heading for because I actually bought something from, I think it was Sam. No, it was Costco. They're in olive oil. It's like a little tin can. It has X amount of protein in there. I'm like, oh, that's some good amount of protein for just 6 little things. So I open it up and I'm like, okay, it's not bad. It's not too bad. But yeah, they're tough.
Yeah, I can't
they're
do
tough.
It. It's not for me. I got to draw the line somewhere. I'm not putting those things on my pizza either. Back when I was eating pizza.
No, that's not. So, what is your food looking like these days?
Because I'm not working right now, and I'm not.
Hold on, let me pause you there. You're not working right now. What do you do to help the world? That's my way of asking. What do you do
To help the world?
That's my way of asking. What do you do for work? Because he's still working, guys. He's not just hanging out.
No,
He's working hard.
I'm a retired construction worker.
Yeah.
I retired at 50, and then for the past 8 years, I've been working on my second pension, and this is it. I'm a workaholic and a gym rat.
Yeah.
And I love hanging out with my girlfriend and training with her. She loves weightlifting as much as I do.
And construction's no joke either.
No, well, I was a laborer, so
Yeah,
I carried a lot of heavy stuff on my shoulder, like steel beams and heavy waterlogged lumber on my right shoulder for many years, and my right shoulder just couldn't take anymore.
Yeah.
And so I just had major shoulder surgery on my right shoulder.
Okay.
Because all the wear and tear. I'm not getting any younger, but I should be fine after I recover.
You do, and you'll recover.
I'm supposed to have my
well.
sling on right now, but
That's right.
But
no, you will recover well because all the muscle.
Yeah.
And all the training that you've been having. I know people recover well, and I've seen it numerous times, where if you were a good athlete, no matter what you do, you guys recover quick.
And then you ask, what am I doing for the world? Well, I kind of think that I'm not saying little podcast, but doing this podcast, my whole point in doing this wasn't for notoriety. It is just to let it encourage people.
Yeah, and part of it that I decided to do this was you're a real person. You're not an influencer on Instagram that everything's beautiful. No, we all going through something with real problems, real jobs, and yet you're still freaking battling to come in here and doing it every day with your shoulder. This time's with your shoulder, and you still competed all those years. These are real people. I tell them, everyone, because I want people to talk about it.
Well, the most encouraging thing I could probably tell you right now is that in all my years, in the 42 years I've been in and out of the gyms all across America, a lot of people come and go in your life. A lot of things happen.
Yeah.
Life takes some of us on some tough journeys. I've been on some tough roads. I wasn't 13 years consistently in powerlifting. I had a lot of roads of darkness along the way.
Yeah.
Which I won't get into, but I had to get through some struggles. And if there's, people come and go in your life and all kinds of things happen, but if there's one thing that's always been consistent, two things in my life that have always been consistent: the God that I pray to and the weights.
Yeah.
The weights never let me down. They're always there. They never lie to you. You're either going to lift me or you're not. They're very honest.
Yeah.
They've gotten me through some very tough struggles in my life, and they don't talk back.
That's true.
And
how crazy has this been for the mental health too?
It's everything. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
It's so good for the mental health. And I preach it to everybody too. I'm like, just go lift. Even if you don't lift, go do something at the gym.
Yeah.
You already woke up. That's a big win, because a lot of us don't wake up from the morning from sleeping. Yep. So we woke up. All right, we're good. Let's go. There's a snowstorm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens every year, guys. Let's just go.
Yeah. Somebody at another gym in town saw me crying once when I was lifting. And he asked me if I was okay. I didn't know the man. And I'm like, it's okay. I do this from time to time. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, I train with a lot of pain, with a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. I says, and I truly believe that is how I've been so successful. I've been through some dark stuff.
What did he say?
Like I mentioned. And I'm like, sometimes I get emotional when I listen to my music and I'm getting ready to do a heavy set. I'm an emotional guy. I'm sorry. I'm admitting it. I'm a big guy, but I'm an emotional guy. And I put all that I got, like I was telling you about the girls when I train. I believe in giving it all you got for every rep. Every rep is a set. Everyone's like, I need to do a set of 5. Worry about the first rep first.
Yeah.
And make the first rep the best rep. And then if you make it this rep number 2, make that the best rep of your life. And if you make it the rep number 3, and that's how I go through my training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I say that, and so another thing is my daughter, you mentioned earlier about how you don't understand how people live without weights. My oldest daughter, Crystal, was just telling me the other day, she's like, Dad, I don't know how you have all that motivation to go to the gym every day. Like, I wish I could. I'm just getting fatter, gaining weight. And I'm like, Crystal, I don't understand how people like you would know. I'm not knocking you down or nothing.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people live without weightlifting,
Yeah.
because it is the best therapy in the world.
Yeah.
It has gotten me through my toughest times.
And it was
It has
gone.
gotten me through divorce. It has gotten me through deaths in the family. It has gotten me through so many dark things that life throws at you when you're sometimes not even expecting it. But it's always been there for me.
And you just reminded me, you're right. Because I think like 2 years ago, I was in the middle room over here. I think I squatted or deadlifted something. Two of my buddies were there, and then we're just doing our thing, and then I'm just like, and then I just was like, all right, come on in. They're like, what? I'm like, come on in. I'm like, group hug, and then I'm just like, thanks guys for just being you, and they're just like, what? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going through something you guys don't know, and it was just passing away from a family
And sometimes they don't need no.
member. And they're just like, all right, man, no, it's all good. And yeah, that got me through it. I was like nothing. They're like, why are you here? I'm like, routine. Get up, go, boom, do what you got to do, and then just come back.
Yeah.
And then you feel better. Same thing with my dog. My dog just had surgery last month. And I thought it was just a little surgery, nothing crazy. And the guy's like, yeah, this could be a little risky. And I'm like, nah, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
But then when I dropped her off, that's when it kind of hit me more. So I dropped her off. Shout out to Crossroads. They made it happen. She's good now. I dropped her. I came back here to train. After training, I felt amazing. After that first set of push-ups, I felt good. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
They call me, picked her up. Everything's perfect. Let's go. I'm just like, thank you, God. Let's go.
One of the things that I miss so much is like, I'm so far removed from competing in powerlifting. Like that was years ago.
Yeah.
But I have to keep going back to that as you say that, because this is the one best thing I loved about powerlifting, or one of the other things that I loved about powerlifting, is it's family oriented.
Yeah.
It is not about me like bodybuilding. And I love bodybuilding. And I love what I'm doing now. But it's all about me.
Mm-hmm.
Powerlifting, you can't do what you do without partners.
Yeah.
You cannot put a lot of weight on that bar and squat it without somebody you can count on behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't grab the average guy in the gym to get behind you when you're squatting 800 pounds. I don't want the average Joe behind me.
Heck no.
If you even touch me, you could throw my balance off.
Yeah.
And so you count on your partners.
Because there's a science to that too.
You got grandmothers and grandfathers and moms and dads and even when I was coaching the girls, they were all college girls when I was coaching them. I'd meet their parents who were all my age, and I'd hang out with them and we would talk about what I'm doing with their daughters. I always made it a point I always told the girls when I met them, like, I want to meet your parents. And some of the girls were like, why? It's like, because I'm a girl dad. I have 4 daughters. Like, I want them to know who you're spending your time with. It's not just some old dude at the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be sitting back like, what do you mean you're hanging around with some old
Yeah,
guy?
who is that? Yeah.
Because we're all taught about the creeps when we're young.
Absolutely.
I was taught about it, and I'm a guy. And some of them would bring their parents in and some wouldn't. And some parents wouldn't say, no, they don't want to come in. And it's like, why would you not want to come and meet me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm with your daughter every Sunday. You're not worried about that?
Yeah.
But, nonetheless, everything worked out fine. But, some of the girls that I took in their very first powerlifting competitions, I will say, all took first place. Every girl I took into a competition, and there's only been a handful of them, they all took first place.
Wow.
In their very first powerlifting competitions.
No way. That is insane. Yeah, because I could only imagine the training you put them through, which that's given me an idea for here that we'll talk after, that we can possibly do. Because what I wanted to do eventually is do like little mini seminars to teach proper form, because that's important.
It's everything.
I yell at everybody, and I'm like, you got to practice, you got to practice, you got to practice.
Yeah.
It's not training every day. It's just practice, because you got to practice the ins, the outs, so you don't get hurt.
Yeah, it's beyond important. It's everything.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Pretty much,
and I hate to sound arrogant, but it's perfection.
No, you need
because
it.
You'll get hurt.
Yeah.
And if you get hurt like I did, you're going to really be bummed out if you really enjoy the sport, because you won't be able to do it no more.
Yeah.
And even permanently hurt.
And even just to be healthy, because a lot of these kiddos right now, and I call them kiddos because anybody under 40, I call them kiddos.
I get it.
So I'm like, all right, you guys are taking the pictures. You guys are looking amazing on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. That's perfect. However, they don't even know why they're doing it besides the picture, because that muscle is going to help them when they're 80, 90, 70 years old. The number one, what's it called, falls that the elderly go to the hospital because of the,
Oh,
'cause
wow.
of yeah, because they can't grip. So if you get your
Mm.
strength in your hands, guess what? You'll be pretty much okay in case you fall.
Yeah.
That's why strengthening and having muscle for when you get to that age, you're gonna be okay. And of course, you gotta eat good,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think about that stuff when I was younger either.
No one does. No one does. That's
I was like
why.
most people. I knew it all
And now
until I
because
met Craig. I knew it all.
because now I'm on a journey of longevity for myself and everyone else. So I'm always trying to see what else we can do to enhance ourselves, naturally or whatever we get to use. Now, there's a lot of, especially being January, there's a lot of, oh, we're going to start the new year fresh. We're going to do this. We're going to plan this. What's a simple and effective way we can plan?
Well, we cannot let those people in the gym anymore.
Okay.
Because they come in every January. They take up a bunch of space in the gym, and then next month they quit and they leave, and you just paid your year membership. The gyms love you.
True. That is very
Gym
true.
owners love you. You're in our way though.
Yeah.
But no, I encourage everyone who comes in. I remember once. I don't know if I should say this now, but I will because I'm such an open book. There was a girl at another gym I was at. She had walked in. You could tell she was new.
Uh-huh.
Very, very big woman.
Okay.
She didn't look like a lot of the girls walking around there. You could tell she'd never been in a gym before. And I walked up to her and introduced myself. And I was like, hey, man, my name's Dave. I love helping people, and I don't want to make no money from you. I swear to God, I'm not looking for money. But I'll be right over here if you need any help. And one of my buddies, who's I thought was my buddy, I lost him as a friend after that. He's like, why are you talking to her? What'd you say to her? I said, I told him what I said. I said, why are you talking to her? I'm like, well, why aren't you?
Yeah.
Why do you look like that and you ain't trying to help her?
Right.
And we got into a little bit of an argument in the gym. I'm just like, you know what? This friendship ain't really working, bro. We're two different people, man. Like, seriously, I don't even want to be around people that are that arrogant that you can't help somebody that needs help.
No way.
And I had to draw a boundary.
Yeah.
Who I'm hanging out with, even in the gym, because I don't want to be around you when people are like, oh, that guy's ignorant. Look, he's hanging around with that guy. I don't want to be around that.
Yeah.
Just like people from my past, I don't want to be around them type of people. I don't associate with them people. I don't want to be known or thought of like I might be still a part of that kind of stuff. I'm not. I'm far removed from my old life.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to ever be looked at in the gym like unapproachable. I used to be unapproachable. I used to be a big, mean-looking man,
just
doing some mean stuff in my life that I didn't anticipate doing, but I did.
That is so cool.
Because I went down some dark roads and I stayed there much longer than I ever thought I would.
Did you ever get certified for anything, like certified trainer or anything like that?
That's where I want to go with this. Like, I've been training people my whole life,
Yeah.
and I've never been certified in my life.
I think
Which is what I wanted to talk to you and Alex about.
You'll just pass it with flying colors.
Well, I have a fear of the anatomy part. Like, I could teach you powerlifting all day long. I could teach you weightlifting all day long.
Like strategies.
But I don't know how the names of all the muscles and how they connect.
Yeah.
This muscle works with that muscle and this one. I don't know all that science,
Yeah.
but I know how to do what I do.
Okay.
I know how to help you achieve goals. But to get that certificate, unfortunately, that's not enough.
That's another road.
So what I was going to talk to you and Alex about that. Like, I would like someone to help me get ready for that part of the test.
Oh,
'cause
definitely.
I want to be certified.
Definitely.
And I would love to
we
be
have
part
a
of
lot.
what your goals are
Yeah.
for what you said you want to do here.
Yeah, because that's one thing I do want to do here. Mini seminars for everybody who wants to do this. Because there's a lot of bad, of course, advice out there. And it's not for everybody. And I know everybody wants to try it. And they're like, no, like try it, but try it with like a freaking PCB stick or something. But they just don't grab the barbell.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you because I have my cousins. They come in. Okay, done. Let's go. I'm like,
yeah. When I see that in the squatting area, I have to walk away.
I know.
Because I can't talk to everyone. Some people don't want your help.
They don't.
Some people think you're arrogant because you're trying to help them. Everyone wants to give advice. I get that.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing, but no, you don't. But okay, but I'll leave you alone. I get it.
I know.
And I don't. It's hard to watch.
It
like
is.
my skin crawls. Like ooh.
Oh, I know.
Like I seen a video on. I think it was on a website. I'm not going to mention what it was, but I saw they were videotaping a kid squatting.
Uh-huh.
and he was all bent over like a 90-degree angle and coming up. But
Yeah.
he was making a PR. And I'm like, I don't care if it's a PR. It might be his last lift.
Yeah.
How is he going to walk after that squat? The form was, I was like this. And I'm in my bed looking at my phone, and I'm still like, ooh, that hurts. Like, just watching him.
You just reminded me of something, because back in high school, I took powerlifting, but I only took it for fun. I didn't care for it. I only took it for fun. So I think it was 3 plates or 2, probably 2, that I deadlifted. And I remember the coach, she was just looking at me with her eyes like yours, just cringing like, I forgot her name, but she was a bodybuilder, because she did show us a video of her, and we're all like, that's you? I forgot what her name. You probably know her because she taught at Central here.
Well, I'm not from here.
You're not from here. Well, she was she was in like powerlifting and all that too. Like, so I just forgot her name. And I remember looking at her face. Why is she making that face if I just lifted it up? And it's for the same reasons. You know, that's why probably some of my back hurts here and there.
Yeah. Well, I was doing it wrong until I was taught properly too.
Yeah.
You know, but some of these guys are thinking they know how to squat, and once again I say this humbly, and they're putting heavy weight on the bar.
They are.
Like, I think this guy who was squatting the way I just told you, we had 455 on the bar.
Get out of here.
That's a lot of freaking weight to do have a bad form.
Yeah.
Because you will be me. You will be that guy who can't never do it again. Like, I can never squat again for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
and that is what I love to teach. So when I teach, I can show you the stances, but I can't do the squat for you.
Yeah.
I had a girl that was training with me. I don't know if that's fair to mention her name, but she's competed here many times.
Oh, really?
And won every time she's been here.
No
She's
way.
always taking the money home. And
No
she was
way.
she was my prime,
Yeah.
one of the girls that I coached over there. And I believe we went into, I think, 3 competitions together. She took first place in all of them. And overall winner, I think, in every one of them, at least 2 of the 3. I mean, she's just she was on her way to being an elite lifter.
Holy
and
cow.
I know she wound up getting married and having a baby. I don't know what she's doing to this day, but she was my whole point was she was my example. Like, I would be like, I would tell these people how to squat, and I would like watch her. She perfect form, like straight up, straight down, always shoulders over knees, always looking back. I never teach people to look forward because we're not going forward, we're going up. So look up. Don't have your mirror. We always had the mirror in my gym, and we would hang a rug over it. You don't need to be looking at yourself. You're not looking to go here. You're looking to go here. And then we would paint a dot on the ceiling where you can't see it. If you look like this, you can't see it. But if you go like this, you can see it. Why? Because we don't train to go up. We train to go back. And why do we want, same thing with deadlift. If this is a squat, this is a deadlift. What's different? Where I put my hands. It's the same stance, same position, same form. For most people. Some people change their forms. But then, so what we're doing is we're trying to go up and back. Why? Because when you're heavy, when you're top heavy, and when you're here, you're front heavy, you're naturally going to be pulled forward when you have heavy weight on the bar. So if you train for straight, and then you're heavy, you're going to be like this. It's a no good lift. But if you train for back, and naturally the bar pulls you straight, you wind up being straight, which is what we're looking for. So if you train for straight, and the bar's too heavy or you're too hop heavy, you're going to wind up like this. Even if you do get a good lift, you're going to have a bad back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we train for back. So when you load up for the warm-ups, then when you get to the heavy stuff, it straightens you out. It's just a mental theory.
Okay, I could see that. Man, we're going to have to train soon.
And why did we also train for back? Now I'm going to get on the squatting. When you also train for back, your leg, your back and your quads are not where the power's at. The power's in your hips. You have to always be on the heels. You can never be on your toes. Even when I see people do the Smith machine, stay flat-footed. The power's in your hips, in your buttocks, in all this back and your hamstrings. That's where the power's at. And then when we do this, we're transferring the power to the front, which is not as strong. This is just one group of muscles. But when you're trained to the back, you got the whole back end of your body that's loaded with muscle that you're engaging to push the weight or pull the weight.
Now, are you more like a conventional? Would it be, do you train more conventional deadlift or sumo?
I was always conventional.
Conventional, okay.
Yeah.
I play with both, and I think conventional, I think I did like it a little better.
Yeah.
Sumo, it just feels weird with it.
Well, to me, and I know a lot of people will hate me for saying this, but it's kind of cheating with sumo because some people have taken sumo.
You're like from here to here.
It started from here, and now people are putting their legs way out here to where they're hitting the weights, and basically you're pulling the bar like 5 inches off the ground. To me, that's not a deadlift. I mean, it looks impressive that you got all that weight on the bar, but if you look at somebody like an Eddie Cohen, who I've met many times as well, he was a good friend of my friend Craig Tokarski, who trained me. So Eddie Cohen has broken world records in God, I think every weight class out there. And so I would talk to Eddie all the time, and he was always talking about. Oh, I'm trying to loosen my thought. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
Eddie Coleman.
When you see his form with deadlifting, he's always conventional.
Yeah.
And look how far he has to pull that weight. When he's pulling 900 pounds, he's going a whole half a mile with that weight. That's a freaking deadlift.
Yeah.
But when you're seeing people pull the bar with sumo and they're pulling 5 inches off the ground,
you
could do the same 900. And you don't get the same respect.
Yeah, it's kind of like when they do when they brace, but when they bench press and they only take it off this much, and they do like the big old hump, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I mean, it works, but no.
And then different organizations will allow that.
They do.
And the APF, if you go to a real APF meet, they don't allow that.
They don't.
APF has some pretty strict rules.
Yeah. Were you a big fan of the Westside Barbell?
I've read a lot about them, but I've never been there.
Been there?
No, I hear a lot about them lately since I've been at this gym.
Yeah. No, they're pretty good. Simmons with the back thing and the whole. Yeah, no, I used to follow a lot of his stuff too. Mm-hmm. A lot of his training, a lot of his thoughts. It's a good gym to go to.
Where are they at?
I think they were in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But
maybe it might have been on the west side of Chicago.
Yeah. No, it wasn't here. It was like in Ohio somewhere. What about, I have to ask you about the Mountain Dog. So they call him the Mountain Dog. I forgot his name, but he used to lift out of Ohio too. And he used to go to the Arnold's and all that stuff, the competition over there. He was really good too, but he passed away a few years ago. He was like in his early 50s, I think. He had a lot of good. He would always reference Dorian Yates as well. I feel like I'm talking to him because he would do a lot of it too. But sadly, he passed away like years ago now because he was on some gear, you could tell, but I don't know what it was. And I can never, because I wanted to go meet him, but I was never able to because he was similar. He gave me similar energy to you where you would help people, And even the lady I interviewed last week, Jam, she's a bodybuilder, I think. Yeah. And same thing. She was like, I was backstage. I was helping the girls that were helping me out. Like, there's no gatekeeping. We're all helping each other out. She was really cool about that part too. She had a pro card. She has everything.
I saw that. You told me about that the other day, and I researched it last night. I saw the interview.
Yeah. And she brought the whole pro card. I was like, this is cool. No way. So we're going to do a part 2 at the end of the year.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. Yeah, us.
Oh, wow.
We got to see what's going on this whole year. So I'm going to do part 2s with everybody. That way everybody can kind of see a little bit what has been accomplished. How's that shoulder doing?
Yeah.
And also that journey of you with, on your next physique, or what are you doing?
Well, I would like to do, I've never done. Remember, I was training for my first physique show, and I got hurt. So I'm 58 and a half right now. Before I'm 60, I would like to do a show. I have 7 grandsons who have never seen me compete in anything. And I don't know, I'd be the coolest grandpa in the world if I could.
I think you already are. Have you spoken to Vicky?
I don't know who
you don't
she
know
is.
Vicky. I got to introduce you to Vicky. She used to be our GM here, but she also competed.
Okay.
And holy cow, and I think she might compete soon at a physique too.
Oh.
She's on that journey again. She said yes, and she said no. I'll get you guys talking.
There's a lot that I need to learn. Like it's a new animal for me. It's a new sport.
Posing, the whole thing.
Yeah, I know how to lift weights, but I don't know any of that other stuff.
Yeah, you got to make them pop
and probably
out.
Need to learn some more about the dieting and all that. Because when I was training last summer, I'll say this and I'll shut up. I think I was doing it. I didn't know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And when I started dieting, like I got down to 4% body fat, but I lost a lot of muscle. I was a big guy when I started. And I had got down to like 205, and I was like 255. And I lost a lot of muscle because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't eating properly. Like, I got tired of eating.
Yeah.
Like somebody mentioned earlier about, like you said, like you had to force feed yourself.
Hmm.
I did that when I was powerlifting, but I kind of lost that
Yeah.
here recently when I was trying to train for that show. And if you're not feeding yourself, you're losing muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can burn fat and you can look great, but to be on a stage, great, no.
No.
And I feel like I lost way too much muscle last time.
Yeah.
So I want to learn how to do it when I get ready this summer, which I'm glad you're going to do a part 2 because I want to kind of document how my process goes, and maybe even have you, even if on the side I can put some money in your pocket and you can kind of watch my progress and how I get ready for a show. So maybe somebody might want to see that someday.
Oh no, they'll see it, especially with
Because
all
my
the
whole
knowledge
theory
you
with
have.
this, and I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, but
No,
you
you're
got me
good.
on a roll. But my whole theory with this is to help somebody else. It isn't because I need to be heard and I need to be seen. But I want to be heard because I want people to hear my story, even about some of the dark things I've been through that I don't want to talk about. Maybe somebody might want to tap me on the shoulder in the men's room and be like, hey, can you tell me more about that? Because I'm going through something, and I'm wondering if it's the same thing and maybe we can help each other.
Yeah.
You know, and even with the bodybuilding, like if somebody sees how I get ready for a show, my first one, there's probably many people out there that think about doing a show, but they're nervous. I'm nervous, but I'm going to do it. I'm not a goal. I've always said I'm not a goal setter. I'm a goal achiever. When I set my mind to something in life, I always go after it.
It's done.
Even if it takes me a minute to get there, I believe in setting goals and achieving them.
Yeah, that is so cool. No, I'm definitely going to get you in contact with Vicky, because she'll help you. She'll tell you, she'll guide you to see who you can talk to, because I know she has like a coach for everything.
Yeah.
She'll help you going.
Yeah, there's a couple bodybuilders here too that I've talked to.
There's a ton of them.
But I only met 2 that compete.
Yeah.
But I'm only in the evening now, so I don't know who all comes throughout the day.
No, in the mornings we have a few. Evenings there's a lot more. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk. I'm in talks too also with some other guy that he's competing. I knew he competed because he looked too good. I was like, he's okay. And we got the rooms for posing too, so that's where they're at.
Yeah.
They're always posing, doing their thing.
Yeah.
All right, David. Well, thank you so much. We will be in touch, and just get ready for your show.